Anyway, as I was saying, right? You could spend so much time filling other people's cups. And I feel like the idea behind the difference between the results you had last year and the difference between the results that you'll experience, right? The fruits of your harvest this year is you'll be seeing how the isolation paid off. You'll be seeing life, okay, from the portal of what happens when you give everything to yourself that you've been giving to other people who don't appreciate it or are wasting it, right? I feel like that's the hex. Sometimes we have stagnation, roadblocks, slow progress, right? Because we are overextending ourselves. And I feel like this harvest, somebody might be trying to bring you back into a cycle. You might have a lot of people around you that are always like grasping for your attention. Give me this, give me this. I don't know, monopolizing, okay, your time, anything you have to give. And I feel like this season, okay, with this spring and this watchtower, you're being told, okay, if you haven't, this is what you're being told to do. Fill your own cup. All right. By always looking out for others, here's the Five of Pentacles, right? Five of Wands. You hex yourself when you pour into the cup of people that don't understand, all right, here, the sacrifice, or they don't honor, or they don't have reverence, all right, for the energy they are receiving from you. And how much more fulfilled, how much better could life be, or could you experience life? And those of you that did the work, or those of you that are pondering this and making the shift, all right, are about to experience that. The Nine of Pentacles, the independence from those, again, that didn't respect, have reverence, honor the love, the time, the compassion, the work that you gave to people freely and willingly. Why, Queen of Cups? People taking advantage of your kindness, of your love, seeing that as a weakness, seeing that as something to be manipulated and used. This is how you hex yourself. This is how you hold yourself back. When time and time again you choose others, you give to others, you pour into others, you're there for others, but you're not giving that same level of energy and effort to yourself. A lot of you're saying like, yeah, that's my fault. Okay. The reciprocity ain't there. The Five of Pentacles. You having to fight tooth and nail. Why? Like, why are we fight? Why do I have to fight to give you, to love you, to protect you, to, okay, pour into you? You're pouring into them, hoping to get that same energy back. But you, okay, selfish people can't give you what they're not made of. And I feel like a lot of you are figuring that out, or you figured that out in winter. Set the boundaries, and now you're starting to see what the good life is like. Nine of Pentacles. You went from the Five of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles. How? Taking my power back? Taking my power back. That's what Spirit is warning, okay? I wrote this down the other day. Make it about you. I don't know. I need to find a better way to like do my affirmations or something. Okay. Cause I mean, I have them, but they just kind of be, I need to find a way to like get them in front of my face or something. But one of the affirmations was, put you first. Okay. Make it about you. Like, right. Okay. How much do others not, or have you found, others really not respecting you or realizing that others don't respect you because you don't make it about you, that you're always making it about them. And then you get to the end of a season or whatever, or when they've gotten what they need, when they've absorbed and sucked all the energy and then they move on, they transition to their next whatever in life. And you're like, hey, now you're looking for your turn. It's like, nah, you know, and then you get the, "Oh, I didn't ask you for that. I didn't ask you to do that." Yeah, some of you had this awakening. It is a rude awakening, and it is tough to, like, make that shift and pivot. So, again, I feel like a lot of you, again, you're realizing this, or you realized it, and now this spring, you're seeing, like, what real independence, or it's dawning on you, like, "Yeah, okay, what happens when I don't have to worry about, if what happens when I don't have to think about choosing between somebody else and me?" Okay. Baby, what if I just chose me? Lover's card. Okay. There is nothing to juggle. There is nothing to think about when I'm choosing myself first every single time. This is from the movie Brokeback Mountain, by the way. But this was all about, again, these facades instead of living your truth, right? Some of us, maybe you've told your story like, "Oh, I'm this to that person," or "I need to do X, Y, and Z because I'm this to that individual," or "I'm this to my mom, I'm this to my kids," or "I'm this to my husband, and I'm this to my job, and I'm this to my friends, and I'm this to my social club, and I'm this to my church, and bitch, who are you to you?" Okay. Because when you get done and you're handing out all of this energy and all those resources, okay, only for people to not, again, hold reverence or respect for it. Who are you to, like, who are you to you? That's why women end up so tired and so beaten, so broken, and so because you do all of that because, and maybe it's society, I don't know, tells women, okay, no, this is who you are. That could be part of it too, the deprogramming. You're supposed to be the daughter, the mom, the whatever. Bitch, who am I? Okay, what about me? Okay. What about making it about you first, right? Choosing yourself. So you eliminate, again, the choice and choosing to live your best life authentically for whatever that is. True independence, okay, instead of hiding. Remember in Brokeback Mountain, they were hiding. I don't know if both of them were married. Okay, or whatever. And then they was sneaking off, okay, being with each other and all. What if I ain't had to do all of that? And I think one of them decided to do that. They came home, told their wife, like, yo. And I feel like that's what a lot of baddies, divine feminines are finally coming to just to term. Like, man, a lot of this shit, a lot of, this the stagnancy or um, the delays are called because of the outsourcing of your energy into entities that don't, again, I have to keep saying it, it's respect and reverence. And then you're mad, you're hurt, you're upset, you're drinking wine or whatever you're doing to get over the fact that people don't have respect and reverence for the love or whatever it is that you're giving them. And I feel like Holy Spirit is just saying, you okay? Anytime you ready, okay? Anytime you ready, you could take your power back because guess what? When you don't make it a choice between yourself and another person, then guess all you got to worry about? You. All right. So I feel like the Holy Spirit is saying, okay, Stop accepting that shit and give that shit back. That shit do not belong to you. You got a couple bags that don't belong to you. This is giving return to sender. Okay. The hex is all of these people telling you who you need to be, your society, are being brainwashed. Oh, I gotta be, and I'm only saying this in the event that you have not even met yourself. You have not even given that same love, dedicate anything to yourself. Yes, that is a hack. Okay. Are being told that you have to wait or you have to, and all of this has to come. No. Okay. A lot of that is conditioning. So some of you, again, you realize this past fall, winter, started making the changes. Maybe you're just now having your awakening. What kind of summer do I want to have with the rest of the, I don't know. I just feel a pivot. Like, man, this shit don't belong to me. This lack don't belong to me. Okay. A Five of Pentacles is being left out in the cold. I give all that just to end up here with the Five of Wands. Okay. Fighting against myself. Okay. Stop holding yourself back. And be like, well, who's holding yourself? But you, by giving to all these motherfuckers that don't give a fuck. Okay. I'm just saying. What would happen if you took choice out of the equation and just, okay, lived, it chose you? Okay. Yeah. I bet you see some shake then. All right. I think it took Neo a long time to wake up. All right. Knight of Coins to the Emperor. Then you really boss up. Okay. Now you may have to start again because that comes that awakening. Neo was kind of doing his 9 to 5, whatever, and all of a sudden he was in some kind of fever dream. That may take you back to the beginning, but again, at least then it's on your own terms, right? Knight of Coins to the Emperor card. Because you're doing things differently. Now you've taken the choice of, okay, I got to do this thing for me. I got, but then that gets put back on the back burner or to the side or delayed or 2 hours because I got to be X, Y, and you know what I mean. I don't know. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. I feel like life looks a little bigger. You might even feel. Oh my God, Queen of Cups with this King of Cups here. I'm telling you, I feel like it'll be like a cheat code or something. Suddenly now you're the boss of everything. Suddenly everything's moving, flowing, independence. Okay. Not answering to nobody but yourself, not deferring to nobody or not. Okay. That's rich. You might even feel guilty. Sometimes I need rest. Like I'm here right now. Okay, you need rest. Like whatever this moment is calling for, me to just chill. But then you feel guilty. Women feel guilty about taking care of themselves. Because then you're worried about, well, what are other people or what are they? And it's just like, but bitch, what if you just okay eliminated all of that, the choice, and just do what is life doing what you need to do for yourself and whatever that is to you without public opinion or without worrying about the judgments or whatever. Okay. Try it again. Reassessing your worth, especially when it comes to love. Some of you have been moonlighting and masquerading. I don't know. Okay. But free yourself. Yeah, Six of Swords with this Five of Cups. Reclaim your stolen time. Tomb Raider was about going back, getting lost jewels, lost treasures. I feel like that's you. Okay. You, and a lot of it you need to reclaim from past exes. Okay. Again, people manipulating, using you, utilizing. It ain't got to necessarily be money. Time is currency, energy is currency. King of Wands, Three of Swords. Yeah, there's some okay. Almost like you were a treasure house just for people to I don't want to say that, but because we have Indiana Jones too, and this Three of Swords, heartbreak. And then they'll pretend like, "Oh, I never asked you to do that. You don't remember that. That's not how." Okay, I feel like a lot of you are seeing that how people that you loved and all of that that you were just a source for them to kind of okay pick jewels, pick treasures, pick I don't know. I do, but it's just kind of sad when you think about it. All right, and then when you bring it up, they're like, "No, that didn't happen. You didn't see that. You didn't." Okay. Holy Spirit is saying, free yourself. Break. Okay. Once you get some clarity, now that you have the clarity, now that you know that people were just attaching themselves to kind of rob and pilfer, of your life source to give them life, that puts everything in a new perspective. And maybe that does help. Maybe that is the key. Erasing that memory so you could really separate and move on because I feel like that's devastating to realize that people only held proximity because of how they could leech off of you or take from you or rob you of your time by professing these things, these notions that just weren't, saying I love you and all that when all they really want is sex to use you as a source for energy. Saying, "Oh yes, I want to invest in you. I want it," and only to realize, you were there to build them up. Yeah, and I was running. Yeah, run, Forrest, run. Ten of Swords. This is betrayal. When the whole time you could have been choosing you, and they knew it, and that's why they felt like you were a good source. You were, uh, prey, I guess, a mark. Because I feel like all of these people and all these different entities knew, like, man, she divine feminine, she kinda they know they weren't worth you, and that is how you hex yourself. You hex yourself by getting with people who are selfish enough, you know what I mean, just to be like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing with me? Why are you even talking to me? Wasting your time with me? I ain't shit." And these people know they ain't shit, but they know you are the shit. And the fact that you would even like entertain them and all that, they like, damn, shorty, maybe shorty don't even know who they are, or vice versa, however it resonates, right? And so they use that as an excuse. Well, fuck, let me go ahead and get in, and while they don't know who the fuck they are, and so then they rob and pillage all the treasures, all this and this. You find out later, okay? But yeah, it's that moment of clarity, right? Once you separate yourself, then you realize that, like, damn, we got the fool and the star. Now you're the star of the show, right? I think the springtime, a lot of it is awakening, accepting the betrayal and the ways in you betrayed yourself. A lot of the ways in how you hexed yourself by holding on to people that you knew again just didn't. The good news is that there's healing and rejuvenation and new beginnings for you, and death to that old life where again these old attachments where you couldn't see, now you can see. You can see the enemy coming, you can see the what the enemy is cloaked in. A lot of you are breaking up with your toxic habits, toxic relationships. um, a lot of those still here out of just not wanting to be alone so you don't have to deal with yourself. You'll see them coming before they even get close enough. To a source, this Queen of Wands. All right. A lot of you have broken up with the illusions. It seems like a deep night of the a dark night of the soul, or maybe winter was that for you, or again spring. It rains a lot in spring. All right, so maybe Pisces season coming into air season. Maybe you realize this, or if you didn't, you're like, why am I crying? Why am I purging? Because you're about to this next season is about you. And this season here is, about putting yourself first, eliminating the choices, okay? Calling a thing, what it is, not what you want it to be. Realizing that you're leaning on to other people so you don't have to do that thing that you're scared of doing. Maybe that's going it alone. What does it mean to truly let go? You're about to find out. Enjoy.